Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Ask Rebecca radio show on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. I hope that everyone had a great 2 weeks. I enjoyed my time off last week for my birthday, so I had a good time. So thank you. So if you are a regular listener or watcher of my show, you know that I've talked about in the past that I was dealing with some extreme fatigue over the last several months. Some of it is attributed to ascension symptoms due to what's happening to our physical bodies, moving from a 3rd density to a 4th density, and the energies that are coming in keep becoming more and more intense. And there's lots of activations happening right now with another wave coming in another week or so. And women could be experiencing changes with the entire endocrine system, like the whole hormonally based system, right? It's affecting men too, but I'm not a man, so I can't really tell you intuitively. I can just tell you what's happening with me and a connection to women. But it is affecting men as well, just in a different way. Maybe it's affecting your testosterone. I don't know. So now I finally received my blood test results, and what I learned is that I'm actually vitamin D deficient, and very deficient, which seems completely insane considering I live in Florida and I'm in the sun daily. Now, in my research through various resources, I'm not going to list them all because we'd be here all day, but one of them did include the Vitamin D Council, which I think is a great resource if anybody's interested. I found out that 40% of the population is deficient in vitamin D, and they have no clue that they are. And being deficient affects your entire endocrine system, everything from your thyroid, your hormones, it includes everything. And some of the symptoms that you could have are constipation, mood swings, weight gain, depression, infertility, loss of libido, hair and nails brittle, osteoporosis. It's linked to cancer, and it's linked to all sorts of symptoms and illnesses. I can't even list them all. My mind was completely blown at how many things this vitamin actually affects in your body as a whole. I mean, if you're deficient, it will F you up, okay? Just put it plainly. So I feel really compelled to share this information because it's something that I wasn't aware of at all. And maybe some of you are experiencing some really odd symptoms and doctors aren't getting to the bottom of it. And maybe you've never been tested for your levels of vitamins and hormones. And what I also learned through this process is that there's only 2 reliable sources in order to maintain your vitamin D levels. The first is through bare skin exposure to the sun. And depending on your skin type and where you live and the time of day, will determine how much time you actually need to spend in the sun in order for your body to produce vitamin D. Our body produces it through our skin, through the sun. So where I live and my skin type, I need to expose my full body in the sun every day for 15 to 20 minutes. Now, other places, you could have to expose yourself up to 2 hours of bare skin, which could cause negative effects by getting sunburned or, having too much exposure time. So the second best way to keep your vitamin D levels normal is through supplements. Food or dairy products does not supply you with enough vitamin D. There is not enough, okay? It's an insufficient way. It's a total myth that milk and dairy that are fortified with calcium can maintain your vitamin D levels. And not only that, but vitamin D is fat soluble. So when you take a supplement, in order for your body to even process it when it's not making it on its own, you have to take it with fat. So there's a lot of information there. And if you're having physical symptoms that are kind of unexplainable, I highly recommend that you go and get checked out, have your doctor test your vitamin levels, your hormone levels. And if you can't afford to go to the doctor, there are tests online that you can purchase to do it in your home that are very affordable. It's totally worth it to find out. I've been taking supplements now for a solid week, and I already feel a major difference. I mean, a huge difference. And this affects men and women equally. So go get checked out. And now that I've lectured and preached to you all, let me do a quick summary of what you can expect for the month of November before I get into this week's predictions and take a caller. So November will be a much easier month. Things being highlighted and expanded this month are teaching, learning, publishing, religious and spiritual work, business, travel, global connections, along with international travel, cultures and languages, lots of optimism, writing, public speaking, and other inspirational methods of sharing information. Lots of good stuff, along with some challenges. For more information, I follow an astrologer named Annie Botticelli, who I follow on Instagram, and she's got a website. So if you're into astrologers, check her out. Everything she's done is pretty much reliable and on point from my experience. So go check her out if you want some more information. She goes really into depth about everything happening in November, and she even breaks it down by your sun sign. All right, let's get into what you can expect for this week, which runs from tonight through to next Thursday, November 8th. These are general predictions for everyone in areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. General themes this week, I feel like the energy is lifting just a bit to give you a break. Some of you just went through some really challenging times in all areas of your life, especially relationships. So this week, you'll feel like you're stepping out of the fire. Lots of people went through spiritual initiations and activations as well. So you may start to experience some synchronicities more, and you're awakening to a deeper level of yourself. I say enjoy the mini break. I also feel success this week. So everyone is achieving something that they put their energy into. There's a lesson of manifestation or creation being taught to you in hopes that you'll make the connection that you're the co-creator of your reality. Where you put your focus, energy, and attention becomes reality or manifests itself. Now, I'm going to be releasing a webinar series I did a couple of years ago on manifestation on my YouTube channel in the next week or so. I go into depth on the hows, the whats, and the whys, and how it all works, and even give you some exercises to do. If you're interested in that, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe so you know once I post it. This week, things will definitely be flipping over or shifting in some way. It could be a perception, a situation, a relationship, a job, or any other number of things. Who knows, you may even do a literal backflip or something in gymnastics class or CrossFit, or you're working out and you're, flipping backwards on some pull-up bars. I don't know, whatever it is. I just feel like there's a lot of flipping over of things, or who knows, maybe you're actually flipping glasses over. I don't know. Some of you may be overlooking the synchronicities in your life that are guiding you in the direction that you most want to go or need to go in order to get to where you want to be, right? So pay attention. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything in this reality is structured for your growth, created for and with you before you ever even incarnated. So pay attention to the synchronicities. They're not coincidences. Everything is leading you somewhere. It's like, following breadcrumbs and the puzzle pieces. Now, some of you are hesitant about making a change. Some of you are afraid others may not like the newer, truer version of yourself. You're doubting yourself unnecessarily. Let that go. Look, if I can let my freak flag fly, you know what? Let yours fly too. Who cares, right? At some point, you just have to accept the fact that not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to accept you. People are going to reject you. But who cares? Because those people have no bearing on your life if they're not involved in your life, right? So just let that go. Be yourself. So again, pay attention this week. So, for example, because I want you to make the connection with these synchronicities or the things that you think are coincidences. So, for example, if you're just thinking about a friend and then you get a pop-up on Facebook that you have memories today with that specific friend, well, that's a nudge from the universe, right? That's the divine telling you to reach out to that friend or heal a wound or whatever it is that you were thinking about connected to that friend. Now, Venus is still retrograde in Libra until mid-November, so there will be more stuff coming up with relationships, less intense than it was last month in Scorpio. Some of you could still be questioning your relationships this week. Your feelings and emotions are there for a reason, so don't ignore them. We're going to be in this energy at least until November 16th, and it might drag on from there. We're going through a purging process, so crap is going to continuously come up until it's all resolved. So, again, if you're questioning your relationships, your feelings and emotions are there for a reason. Don't ignore them. Analyze what's going on. Geminis could be dealing with this more than others, or for whatever reason, I just feel like Gemini was just coming at me. So whether it's connected to twins or whether it's connected to one of you is a Gemini in the relationship, something about Geminis. Work, for those of you employed, I feel resistance to change for some of you, especially for some of you that know deep down inside that it's time to move on from your current work situation. Nothing stays the same forever. I also feel like some of you having a powerful attraction to someone in your working environment. So all of a sudden you may find yourself crushing on someone. I always like to say, be cautious at work, whether you're trying to hook up with a vendor or a coworker or a boss. Those situations can get a little dicey sometimes, especially if you are both in committed relationships. I think it's going to be important to, don't create negative karma. You're working through negative karma right now, so you don't want to add karma to your palette of challenges. Work, for those of you that are looking for a job, not much going on for those of you looking. I do feel like there's a bit of a slowdown period right now, or delays with the hiring process. Hang tight, stay positive. And don't be picky unless you can afford to be. Remember, you can always change jobs if you find a better one. Don't fall into the myth that if you change jobs frequently, it looks bad on your resume. That's an old world crap stuff. It's the way of the world now is people are constantly moving and changing jobs. Love, you could be feeling hesitant, communicating what you want and need from your partner this week. Don't, right? Be brave and express yourself. Use I statements. There's no need for blame. Just say, hey, babe, I really want to go on a date with you next week. Can you make it happen? Right? Done. You said it. Now the ball's in the other person's court. There's no need to point out how your babe isn't living up to your expectations and doesn't ever take you on dates anymore and all of that stuff. Just be clear about what you want. Again, hey, babe, I really need some TLC. And then see if they deliver. If not, again, be clear. I want to be in a relationship where needs and wants are reciprocated. If there's no compromise, then it may not be time. Then it may be time for me to move on, right? You're expressing what you want and you need, and you're making it clear that you're not going to just be sitting around as a floor mat, right? So overall, though, I do feel like it will be a good week in love. There just may be some delays in feeling that way, right? Those of you looking for love, some of you could be losing your faith this week that you will ever find true love again. Don't give up. That attitude will only prove you to be right. You'll end up alone. So remember, what you focus on is what you attract. So focus on that tall cutie with a booty, stay positive, and even though some of you may not be feeling optimistic, it's a great week to get out there and mingle. Finances, some of you could be feeling helpless or stuck in a financial rut. You can make changes and improve your situation if only you take action steps and believe that you can. I know friends who are decorating Yetis or making their own Oracle cards and selling them online. Think outside of the box. Some of you haven't even given your finances a second thought because you've been wrapped up in your romantic life. So this week, that energy kind of shifts and you're paying more attention to your financial situation and things become more balanced. Health, all I'm getting is love your body. It's serving you well. It's housing your soul. the better care you take of yourself, the longer you get to be around physically to experience this mass awakening and shift in consciousness that's happening. There's literally a jump in evolution happening. We are growing as humanity, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a little sucky right now at times because we're having to deal with some stuff, but it's going to be amazing, and you want to be around for it. Spirituality, there's a need to try new things, talk to people who see things differently than you, expand your mind. Some of you could be falling in love with someone who's meant to be your mentor, teacher, or instructor, or perhaps a self-professed spiritual guru, or that person professes their love for you. I would just say practice discernment. This could be misplaced trust or abuse of power in some way. Well, that covers this week's predictions. I'm sending you guys all lots and lots of love and positive vibes. Let me get to tonight's caller. I have Jennifer in Austin, Texas. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How can I help you this evening?
My question is about relationships. My partner and I are taking some time to look deeper into things, both going into spiritual retreats individually, to just really see what it is that we want together. It's very clear that our work spiritually has a place in the future. It's more about the romantic aspect. I was just curious what you see.
So I feel like you guys have an interesting relationship because it kind of goes back and forth between a really solid kind of friendship and things that you like to do together, or I don't know. There's a part of it that feels like a good connection. But then I feel like there's this other side of the relationship where you both are working through your baggage. And I feel like there's times where maybe one or both of you are feeling emotionally overwhelmed, or maybe feeling like you're being judged or criticized for what is going on with you as an individual, or what your expectations are of the relationship. So it's kind of this weird dance that I feel like is happening. Does your relationship sound like that?
Yes, that sounds pretty accurate.
So it's almost like this weird push and pull. Like one moment it's like, oh my God, I love you, and you guys are totally in sync, and you're like, oh, we're gonna go on this spiritual journey, and we're totally gonna like do all these amazing things. But then I kind of feel like you both sabotage yourselves and each other. Future-wise, I feel like it has a real possibility to blossom. I feel like the disconnect that you might be experiencing is like the passion. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that intimacy, that passion, that hot, sexy, like.
Yes, it's there as long as we're in the same country. We don't live in the same country, so.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
So you have distance that makes a huge thing. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
So we're trying to make decisions about him moving here.
Where's he at right now?
Mexico. In Mexico.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to feel out if I feel him coming here. Okay, so I'm not 100% positive that he's going to come here, only because I feel like, one, he goes back and forth, and then I do feel like there might be some issues with him trying to actually live here. Do you tend to visit him more?
It's pretty equal. It goes back and forth. His family is here. His parents, his brothers, sisters are here. But he has a child there that's almost grown.
Okay,
so we take turns visiting each other.
Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
We take turns visiting each other. It's pretty even.
Gotcha. Okay. For for some reason, I just feel like he goes back and forth, and the excuse may be the child or work, or it's weird because I feel like there's part of him that wants to really come and live here, but then the other side of it is like he's made a way of life for himself there. He's pretty comfortable. I feel like he has a network of people that he knows. So I think he goes back and forth about whether or not moving there is the right choice. I kind of feel like it might be I kind of feel like it could be upwards of 2 years before anything happens. That may not be what you want to hear, but I kind of feel like
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I just feel like there's some delays too. Like, I don't know, I can't quite feel what it is, but I just feel like there's like, it's okay. He makes the decision, like he's going to come, you guys start the process of him moving there. And then all of a sudden something comes up like a roadblock and he's not able to come. And it makes better sense for him to stay there. I do feel like you guys could make it work, but it's going to take, I feel like sometimes fear creeps in with you, and, you know, the distance thing, it's hard. I feel like you guys actually do a pretty good job between maybe Skyping and talking and visiting each other where you're feeling connected. But again, like the physicality of it all, I just feel like maybe there's times where you get insecure and you might think like, oh my gosh, what is he doing right now? You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel, even though like in your head, I feel like there's moments where you're just like, you know what, screw it. I can just pack up all my stuff and I'll go down there. But at the same time, I just feel like you don't really want to live there.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like the idea of it is nice, and like, but at the same time, you're just like, no, I don't think so. It would be better if he came here. How long have you guys been together?
2 years.
If you're concerned about breaking up, I don't feel like that's an issue right now. I feel like that's something that the two of you would look at maybe through frustration when things aren't moving along and as quickly as you may want it to. Are you prepared to be patient? Like, where's your headspace? Because I feel like, again, you go back and forth.
Yeah, I do go back and forth. I feel like this time that we're taking right now, I feel like, am I just being foolish and I just need to get over him and move on? Or if I hold space for this and just allow it to evolve and blossom and develop slowly, it really will be something incredible. I just need to be patient. And I'm willing to be, I just don't want to be naive. It's not about love or other people. Like, I know how profound our love is. If he wasn't with me, it would be to follow a spiritual pursuit. It wouldn't be about anything else. And I don't want to hold him back from that either.
I don't feel like you're being naive. I think the fear is more from a place of trust. I feel like there's times where you just have a hard time trusting his intentions. And the trust could even be within yourself. Like, will it work out? Like, is he stringing me along? Like, you know, is it... The trust, I feel, is connected with... It's a little more connected to you, like trusting yourself that you picked the right guy, right? And then the other side of the trust issue that I feel is it's connected to the distance. You know, can I trust what's happening over there? Can I trust that he is making a conscious effort to be with me? And that sort of thing, like trusting that it's all going to work out in the end. And my advice to you is, if you're in love with him and you have a really strong connection and you both have this spiritual connection and something that you want to pursue, what do you have to lose, right? I mean, honestly, I feel like you'll figure it out. I just feel at this point you're not ready to make a decision. Deep down inside, you know. But right now, you're just not ready to make that decision, and that's why you go back and forth. But honestly, what do you have to lose? Right? I don't feel like you're going to end up being like this hermit alone if you wait another year or two to figure out if you guys are going to be able to be together. Like, that's not the case. You're not destined to be alone. And I feel like if you have the patience and the fortitude to make this long distance relationship work, then, and your needs are being met, right? Like, as long as he's supporting you emotionally and you're supporting him, and the only issue is the distance, then I certainly feel like you have nothing to lose by hanging on a little bit and sorting it all out and figuring out if this is really something that is worth waiting for.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I feel like you're going to have, you'll know for sure. I feel like you'll know by summer of next year. So it's not that much longer. What's like 6-7 more months?
That feels good to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for calling in. I've got to run. I have 30 seconds left. So thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you next week. Bye.